And here's tonight's evening update for October 4th. It's Thursday night. Only so much to say. Look at it. I kind of wrangled up the tomato plant a little bit to start pulling it back towards the trellis some. The next time this bed gets stuff planted in it, you know, I don't know when that'll be, but we'll keep all of the delicates up here, and we'll put in the other bed that's going to go in, put the hardier stuff like tomatoes, because they'll get a little more afternoon sun this time of year. But once I have the other trellis wall put up there, it'll be still shady near their edges. So. But anywho, wow. The water is just about ready for fish. The pH has dropped down. It looks like a solid 7.2 now on the scale, which is ideal now. And the ammonia has dropped to less than 0.25. It goes yellow and then this real light green, and it is not, it's closer to yellow than it is green. So nitrite becomes the big one, and it's actually right in between 0.5 and 1 part per million. So I imagine by tomorrow morning we're going to be in a nice safe range, and by tomorrow night, I mean, with as fast as this switch is happening, we could be down to almost zeros on the ammonia and nitrite. And at the same time, the nitrate right now is blood red. We're at 80. There is plant food in the bed. So I think tomorrow night we are definitely, this is a definite going fishing. Try and get a couple baby bluegill. Maybe even catch, there are blue tilapia in Kiwanis. It'd be nice to be able to catch some baby tilapia there and start my own wild raised blue tilapia. But if not, I'm going to give the guy on Craigslist a call about the Nile tilapias that he's got. And get some fish into this thing this weekend. I'm already starting to get prepped for additions of the sump tank this weekend. So I reconfigured the cinder blocks that have been holding the system, and it didn't dawn on me for a while that this section right here, this corner, was where I had the length of the cinder block. But there's no load on this cross member here. All of the bearing load is with these two that are right here supporting. It's hard to see in this light. The two cross members that are supporting the barrel, all of the weight is right there. So by turning the bricks the way that I have them now, I actually have support underneath the load bearing members, which I should have known better. However, it's done, and what we have now is a 27-inch by almost 4-foot depth underneath this to throw in. I can throw in a really nice sized sump tank now, a lot of water, and have it prepped. Instead of going with a small tank and then going to another one, it'll already be ready to accept the water from other grow beds. So when the grow beds drain, they'll drain into the sump, and at the same time the sump is pumping water up into here and pumping water back into the tank, and the tank will have its own, similar to a siphon, it's just a gravity feed drain that will come from the bottom up the wall and out this and drain into the sump tank, and then it'll have an overflow tapped into the side, so that if the sump return in here is filling it too fast, it'll just overflow right back into the sump. So what in effect will happen is, at the bottom of this hole here, probably about a ½ inch down, is where the water is going to be all the time after the sump tank is in, so there won't be a fluctuation up and down. So there's lots going on. This really opened up down under here though. So much to do, but right now there's not much to do with the plants. Just watch them grow. And what we can start is look at this cucumber plant here, this tallest one, and look at, there's the rung for the next level on the trellis. That's how far up it's already gone above that first rung. And it's done that in, what, 3 days? So we're talking about that's 7.5 inches easily. That's over 2 inches a day that it's growing vertically, and you can see the size of the leaves now they're huge. Look at this one. So I'm going to start, well, this bugger's ready to, I want to train this one under this. And the way it starts coming out and gives more light into this area for more leaf growth from the tomato, which is, I mean, look how long this arm is here. I might have, I actually think I have another piece of this green trellis that I can tack up behind here to go with this vine and send it off to this direction. But just amazing that I've got to let these two end ones grow out enough that the weight of them starts to train them down. And then once I get the sump tank into the system here underneath there, I'll do a trellis piece that's that'll form to this, and then make the bottom part down there, right off the bottom of the frame, I'll make it a door that swings up, so it can service the sump tank and pump, and at the same time that it'll be a trellis that's framed and have the vines growing down onto it, so that if I fold it up, it won't break the vines, as opposed to having a door that opens. We'll have this come up, and the vines might be able to deal with that. We'll see and deal with it, because if I have the sump tank shaded, then we're going to have a lot more control over the temperature of the water in the overall system too. It'll be easier to insulate under there and heat the sump tank rather than heating the whole system too. So that's where we're at. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me say it, but I think this is amazing. This is, what, 14? It's a Thursday. This is actually this, what, 16th day. Mm, 17th. Nonetheless. And this is what it's been doing with no fish in the system and no extra additives either. I think every bit of what we're seeing right there is the plants basically getting fed from the worms that I put in the bed. The 1 3-gallon addition of the tank water inside, and then the worms in the bed dying off, creating ammonia and kick-starting the nitrogen cycle. And this is what we get. This lettuce is already looking awesome. So, tomorrow starts a week of a lot of modifications to this that are going to really make a difference too in the long run. So, we'll see you in the morning.